team fight, because Zay just seems to be on par for the course.
Method just has controlled both of the games, and every single time they controlled the flow of the game and forced Team Liquid to be reactive.
Yep.
And they also never really played that global game. They never really gave Team Liquid the wiggle room to exploit the fact that they had a global hero, that they had Dehaka. They always just set up very strong pushes that Team Liquid had to react to and couldn't really play that trump card. So now Method with the first ban, Team Liquid, and first pick. Let's see how Team Liquid reacts. Abathar should also be banned out on this map. He was always strong here, and Method takes him away immediately.
Do you ban Tracer again? Yes. Tracer taken away.
Meaning that Genji, Hanzo are open, Tyrael is open. All three of them would be very good first picks here.
I think Hanzo a little bit more tasteful than the Genji.
Now there's a couple of things that you have to consider here. If Hanzo, for example, is taken or Genji is taken, then we could see immediately something along the lines of Greymane Tyrael. That alone as a combo would already be strong. So Uther is taken first of all. That already it doesn't shut down Greymane, but it makes it so that even if you pick Greymane with Tyrael, he is going to have a bit of a harder time engaging in these fights. If you pick Rega, then you still have a panic button around, but they prioritize Hanzo over Tyrael for now. But I still bet that Greymane is, if not taken by Method, then at least banned on the second spot, because Method wants to make sure that in addition to the Hanzo and Tyrael setup, there's not also Greymane jumping in with them.
Boss control and boss damage here. Method going to be thinking about their pickups. Do you think they'll even attempt to tumble Genji, or are we just going to go straight into the Greymane, trying to have some control? As Uther so far has been setting up well with the Greymane, Genji not so much.
I actually don't know. I think it's a preference pick at this point, because both of them work well with Uther. Both of them are absolutely fantastic in themselves. I could see them head into global here. I could see them picking either Genji or Greymane and then add, let's say, Dehaka to the
Sure. Dehaka coming in could be a threat. Any other warriors that we can think about in the second and third slot? Leo has been picked up pretty often lately. It's going to be the Dehaka and the Nubarak, actually.
Okay, so Dehaka taken. I think that was to be expected, but I personally thought they would go for either Genji or Greymane in addition to that. Might not end up getting either one. Team Liquid could now ban out one of the two, and then Method could ban out the second or ban something different. So Team Liquid has to consider that. If Team Liquid doesn't ban out either one, then they will get one of the two, and Method is guaranteed to get the second if they want it. But for now, Genji about to be taken out. The mobility heroes banned against Shrimpy in particular, and I like that. I think banning out Genji would be great here. Personally, I feel Greymane would be better for their composition and complement it better. Method is likely to ban Greymane out, but then there's still a lot of heroes that Team Liquid could take in that setup.
All right, there's Genji taken away. Method, will you ban the Greymane? Will you leave it up and risk the idea of Tyrael diving into you? They still have options if they do leave the Greymane up. They could go into Arthas themselves. Never mind, they have two tanks. They decide to ban Arthas instead, which means they may want that Greymane. But like you mentioned, Team Liquid can take it here.
I'm a bit surprised to see the Arthas ban. I mean, well, they already have that tank set up. It's unlikely that they pick Arthas as the third frontliner here.
But it illustrates that you want some kind of melee that dives forward, right? You want Greymane, maybe Illidan?
I mean, Arthas already has a lot of control here, but still, Arthas is a ban. I didn't really feel need. Arthas is strong, don't get me wrong. Like, he's doing really well in Europe in particular, so not a bad ban by any means. He has been played also a ton. He's involved in 36% of the games, which is actually a lot, so more than a third. And he has a 50% win ratio, which, considering that he has been played 48 times, is pretty solid, sitting at right 50%. But for Liquid, Greymane, as expected, as I said earlier, Rega, if you don't have Uther, then you usually try and get Rega so that you have that panic button, that burst heal when he goes and engages.
Are they baiting something? Were they banning the Arthas to see or make Team Liquid pick up the Greymane?
Maybe they have another hero for Shrimpy that just suffers at the hands of Arthas. That could be it.
True. The only thing I can think of is like a Cassia option with Uther. It'd be nice against Greymane. Can handle Tyrael coming towards her. You would have Peel forward with Dehaka and a Nubarak. Jaina would be a bit awkward with Tyrael diving you. Yeah, I'm very curious about this draft.
I mean, Method is going to show something. For Team Liquid, on the other hand, we still need an offlaner. And they can't get the Haka. I'm really interested what Team Liquid is going to try and pull off here later on.
It's time for Eternal to bring back Artanis.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why the Arthas band came in too, with the Haka and Arthas band down there trying to figure out what he would transition into.
It's going to be Artanis.
That's what it is.
Dazzler.
There's a Cassia. So Cassia and Illidan. Okay.
Cassia and Illidan. Okay. Wait.
They need something more damage-based, right? Because Hanzo and Greymane have a hard time actually killing Cassia. But you can't really throw in a third damage here. Is there any offlaners that do bring the damage in? I mean, Artanis would be horrible against Cassia. That's gone. Illidan would also run him over.
I mean, there's a few options that we have seen in Korea a bit more. We have seen a few more Thralls in Korea, but I don't think that's something that they will look towards now. I would actually say something a little bit more on the tanky side. I could even see them go into ETC, go stage dive, and try and play around that.
What about Stitch's offlane? Poke build with W.
Personally, I wouldn't use it with the setup that they have. They have very little lockdown afterwards.
Malfield?
Yeah. Taking a bit the focus away of the heroes in the back. That can work too. Actually, skipped my mind.
Yeah. I mean, he's just falling out of my brain, but that's mostly because I have a distaste for him. That's my fault. I should get better at that. Okay. Wow. Mix up and drafts for sure. I'm staring at Method right now. And I think they have a really good chance here, actually. You have pressure for Hanzo. Illidan can dance between the two. You have to play around the Greymane and him coming in with the go for the throw if he gets that, but still manageable. Cassia.
Definitely a lot of cool tools that they have here, but also we also have a lot of opportunities on the side of Team Liquid, especially with the boss control that they currently hold. Malthael, Hanzo, and Tyrael, that's really good on the on-point damage, and if you're trying to fight for that isolated spot. If they can force the fight there, then it's great. But right now, they of course have to be worried a bit about running against a global. That's number one. And also, there's a very aggressive setup for Method where they try to run over you. I mean, the idea here is really just to engage with Illidan, with a Nubrak, all of them jumping in, getting the cocoon, and then driving the fight away from the cocoon. But we're going to find out if Team Liquid can turn it around, or at least start a comeback here on Cursed Hollow.
Team Liquid on the left side in the blue. Nurok playing Hanzo, Sport Billy on Tyrael, Malthael played by Eternal, Hasawav's on Greymane, and Splendor playing Rhaegar.
And to the right side, we see on Cursed Hollow, Method with Shrimpy on Illidan, Arcana on Dehaka, Aethera on Uberak, Curson on Uther, and Nick on Cassia.
So watching Cassia here, change up on the level 1. We've been seeing a lot of the Q build mixed in. Instead, we're having the charged strikes, which can be great against compositions that group up, and also lets you put up a lot of damage quickly on the front-loaded side of a fight, which is what you need when you have an Illidan. You want Illidan to be able to clean up fights, but also be dangerous while teams are getting lower and lower, and Cassia providing that here with the level 1.
Yeah, Liquid has, especially in the early game, have to start making a bit of an impact here. They really struggled in the previous 2 matches, or in the previous 2 games, to get anything done here. And I feel they are suffering a bit because that momentum is just so heavily in Method's favor. And now with Illidan also in the mix, it's a very aggressive setup that Method runs. There are the tools on the side of Liquid to deal with it, but they also need to get the coordination on point, and that was something that we were still lacking in Game 1 and Game 2.
What I like about this composition as well is you were talking about the Illidan, but both Illidan and Dehaka can side push. And that means that Method with Cassia, who is actually really good at trading up in the lower stages of the game. Right now, she's on trading for Splinter, getting him low on damage. Gonna back up there as Nick is doing pretty solid there, but Arcaner comes in with a tongue, and he has made sure to put sticky glue on that tongue, getting a pickup on Tyrael. But Cassia can actually trade pretty well. If you're in a 4v3 with a Cassia and an Uther, you actually can do decently if she doesn't get locked down thanks to her trait. So Method will be able to dance around the tributes while they can choose or elect to put Illidan and Dehaka in side lanes.
And the start here alone with the kill against Tyrael is already annoying for Liquid. These early kills are usually of little consequence because the death timers are so low unless you are on a solo lane and your opponent is able to push a wave in. But it already opens up the map a bit for Method and allows him to take these camps uncontested. So it's one of those things where they are now in a position that where it just continues to carry the momentum from Game 2 into Game 3, where Liquid is already in a spot and is like, well, the game just started, we already lost the first hero. Illidan, of course, is also fantastic now for taking the camps on the map, and especially with the increased priority on mercenary camps after the rework in at the end of 2017. That works well for them now. But we have both of them heading straight for the night camp. At the top, we see even Siege Giant camp now pushing through. So with Rhaegar and Greymane on the side of Team Liquid, they have a lot of camp control.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see if Cassia's going to come down in the middle lane to help out with this smart camp. Looking like no, Dahaka going to be the one to go ahead and help control this area. While Illidan grabs the Giants, as you were mentioning, to push us against Hanzo. He should be able to hang out down there too on that bottom lane. And Illidan, if he's left uncontested, can actually shred through structures pretty quickly. So we'll watch to see if that happens here as the first tribute's up.
Yeah, so far there hasn't really been a problem since he's been very heavily invested on the camps, but as he said, the tribute could change that behavior, of course, on his part. But he's starting to make the rotation into the middle. Dahaka still at the bottom going up against Hanzo. And Liquid has taken a solid lead in experience. So Illidan is going to negate that to an extent as he picks up the XP in the mid lane, but it also, of course, forces him to invest time there. And that is time that Team Liquid will spend in a 4 versus 3 situation here on the first tribute.
Nick trying to get in here so he can drop in the harassment to stop the channel. He's able to sneak his way in just barely. Splendor was going for the channel as Team Liquid held the front line. Shwimpy comes in for the rotation, goes straight for Greymane. Greymane's getting low on health. The Impale will keep them back for now. Arcaner going in. Does he have the drag? He lands it. Nick and crew will try to finish him off while Curson starts channeling.
Yeah, and Malthael goes down after Hazops got saved, and of course that means that Hanzo is currently alone at the bot lane, but Shwimpy can make his way over there pretty quickly, especially since Hanzo had to clear that camp first. So it was really a good spawn for Method on the first tribute, and they again have taken a lead in experience. Shwimpy a little bit too aggressive here, is able to move away though, and at the top lane even more pressure. Hanzo is still alone at the bottom of the map, has taken the XP and is now starting to rotate, but realizes that he can just simply stay at the bot lane since Method has started to move away from the mid lane pressure.
And speaking about moving away, they got level 7 first, so they're up in experience. Team Liquid catching up just now. Alter will spawn to the bottom side, and Cassia is on her way while Dahaka heads to the top. Method in a prime position here to grab 2 tributes right away at the start of the game.
Yeah, they're looking strong right now. Dahaka is still at the top lane, as he said, so he wants to stay there for as long as he possibly can and come in late to the fight, where we have now Greymane starting to rotate down. But Liquid has, again, a 4 versus 3 for now, because Illidan hasn't moved down yet. He takes the wave first. They're trying to get an advantage in experience by shoving the wave out and into the towers. Nice damage with the cocktail alone already. Illidan comes in, Eternal is there, and now it's a 5 versus 5, as we have Dahaka also committing to the battle.
Illidan them cutting them off. Nice concave here for Team Liquid. If they can move in together, they can try to develop a fight around Method, but Nick is holding that top left pretty well. He's next to Curson, so he should get healed out. Engage right away onto Splendor. Splendor, the puppy, falling.
And Splendor is down, the drag on Greymane, and both of the dogs are dead. Nurok barely escaping with the straight jumping over the wall. But that is bad news for Liquid. 4 kills against 0 Method now with the nearly a level lead, 2 tributes to their name. And Shwimpy jumping into the back. He wants Nurok. And he is likely to get him, well, with the wave coming in, maybe not, gets the heal, gets the kill, but still dies.
The teamwork though, Curson coming around just to provide the last second heal there so they can make it through the shields and get a kill. And now Method are able to open up the fort down here. Now, a little bit aggressive there from the Odin player. Granted, he's ahead in experience, didn't need to do that, but still,
to be honest,
they make a place.
That was a sexy play.
It was pretty
realizing that Hanzo would be in the back trying to be, and then just moving around. And when he all of a sudden was confronted by 2 heroes, even with the 2, he could have gotten the kill. But then the minion waves moves in as well, and that's too much. And then we have Curson already in the perfect position to heal him over the debris. That was incredibly well executed from Method. I really like that. And now they have level 10. They can go for Curse, they can go for Boss, and the entire boss control that we've highlighted from Team Liquid has not even come into play at all. It wasn't even a factor so far.
Team Liquid wondering if they should move in for the boss play. They want to set up for a Dahaka kill if possible, but they are spying a little bit too little on the time here as Method's about to finish up the boss, which means they won't be able to contest their boss in the top right corner. Arcana drags forward, goes down, grabs a tribute, and that is going to be a curse with a big push for Method.
And Team Liquid is trying to counter push, but they are going to have to attempt to save their keep. I mean, Illidan just simply jumped over. It's like, well, if you don't move back, I can already work on the keep and prepare it for the boss to move in. They move to the first tower, and now they can simply disengage, wait for the boss to move in, and then pressure more with the boss itself. So they are in such an amazing position. But Liquid has 10 now, so they can finally start to fight back.
Hanzo Arrow comes out, big cocktail to follow up. Malthael dropped inside the web. We're going to have the Sanctification as well as the Divine Shield being utilized. Right away, a fight happens inside of Thorough, trying to do his best to kite forward, but Schwimpy does not care. Diving in with Nick, they eliminate the back line.
I mean, you gotta be kidding me, right? Boss stun goes in, triple kill. Can they end?
They have Illidan. He's healthy.
And they have the boss. They are going to end here. Nick is low, but it doesn't matter. Greymane is the only one who's left, and they are going straight for it. They are going to try and end here. And even if they can't, they will do so much damage. This is 7 minutes and 40 seconds in. This is insane. Schwimpy is just popping off on every single hero that he plays today. Another kill. It's 10 kills against 1, and Method just shuts Team Liquid down in one of the fastest series that we had so far. 7:30 on Cursed Hollow. Was that